Hey, I'm Brian Van.
I'm Max Van.
And today we're going to recap the SportBikeTrackGear.com MotoAmerica Junior Cup race at
Laguna Seca.
So, another long journey. Over the course of 3 weeks, Max and I drove 10,700 miles. Literally 10,700 miles. Went out, raced the ridge with the whole family. We had Sophia and Marks there with him and I, right? And of course, Dave and Jimmy. Drove all the way back to Michigan. Him and I were home for 4 days.
Yep.
You know, had a little work to do to the bike, some work around here, some yard work. And then we piled back in the truck on Monday, just the two of us, because the ladies all flew out. And we drove all the way out to Laguna Seca. That's the first track that was on the calendar this year that you've ridden at previously.
Yep.
What kind of weekend did we have?
Up and down. It was an up, and then it just plummeted.
And welcome to motorcycle racing, dude. That's just how shit goes. That's how life goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But you keep working towards the goal. What is the goal?
To get a podium. That's it.
To get a podium. That is the goal, and we're working towards it. And I'll say that I think you took some good steps towards it again this weekend. I know you don't really look at it that way, right? But I still feel that you took some good positive steps towards that goal. Qualifying, you rode really well, really well. Where did we qualify?
Well, Q1, I ended up P3, and then Q2, I ended up P4.
You got nipped by David Kolstad after time expires. You know, David was on a flying lap and was just a couple of tenths faster than you. Took you off what could have been your first ever front row. Is what it is. No big deal. 4 is a great starting position.
I think so, yeah, for sure.
So we're super stoked.
Yeah, I'm super happy.
Weekend's going fantastic. We're thinking, hey, man, this just might be the one. But there's a lot of things that have to happen in between.
For it to be the one, yeah.
Exactly, right? And you got to keep working towards it. You know, one of the things that I told him, he was really disappointed, and we'll tell you why in a second. One of the things I told him is you have to look at this for what it is. His level of experience is probably one of the lowest that is on the Junior Cup grid. He's probably raced less than maybe everyone that's out there. We also don't get to ride a lot. This year, the only riding he's really doing is just the MotoAmerica rounds. We did one track day.
Back in April.
Yeah, back in April at our home track. So you need to make the most of what you have, get the best results you can get. And also, like anything in life, man, you got to pay your dues. You know, it'd almost be uncool for you to just show up without having done a lot of the work and ridden a lot of races to get all the experience to show up and just start getting trophies, because this is a whole hell of a lot harder than that. You're doing great. You've exceeded every expectation I've had, I'll tell you that. I thought you were a 10th place finisher, and you're clearly not that, right? So super proud of you. Keep your chin up. Keep doing the work. You're going to get there. Now let's talk about race 1. Race 1 was a lot of fun to watch right up until...
I fell. I think with 4 laps to go, and at the top of the corkscrew. In the beginning of the race, I got a good launch, really good launch. I think I was like 3rd, and then for some reason I did 2 downshifts super early going into turn 1 that caused, I think, 3 more people to go by me, so I was back in, like, I think 7th. And then from there, I worked my way back up to 4th right behind David Kolstad with Gus Rodeo behind me, and there was also Blake Davis in the battle, and we just kept going back and forth until, unfortunately, I fell down. Top of the corkscrew. Don't really know what happened. Just lost the front and went downhill.
We went over all the data. So we have the Spears Racing HM Ninja 400 data acquisition kit on the bike. Jimmy's getting really good at the data, and we definitely have a lot of friends at the track that we've worked with for years. One of them is Chris Ulrich. Chris Ulrich definitely has some experience reading data. So he came over, he sat down with Jimmy, and they went over this. They were able to watch the video, too, because MotoAmerica captured his crash, fortunately. So it's good to be able to review that. And, you know, they went through everything, and Chris is literally like, I don't necessarily see anything that you did wrong that caused the fall, you know, so I guess in that spot there's like a little, you know, we're not making excuses because it just is what it is. I mean, if you put the bike on the seam and you lose traction, guess whose fault that is? It's not the seam's fault. Your fault.
Yeah.
You know, and now you know for next time. So It is what it is. We're feeling it was a very minor crash. I got the bike put back together and race ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, we're feeling pretty good about it. You ran a personal best lap time.
Of a 37.838.
37.8. Last year, your personal best was a
38.498.
So, you know, that's a significant improvement because you rode fast right out of the gate last year, too. So that's also a significant improvement in lap time. Most importantly, you showed once again that you're capable of battling for a podium spot. You weren't battling for, 1 and 2 at this one because Tyler and Ben were just in a kind of a race of their own.
No.
But still, nevertheless, at this level, to be battling for a podium at all is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We had a kick-ass plan for Sunday.
Yeah.
Kick-ass plan. I think you were feeling good.
I was feeling really good. I mean, warm-up went okay. I just went out and rode and kind of got used to the bike again after I fell. And then race 2 started, and I jumped the start. I don't know what I did. I was just super excited to get it going. I let out the clutch and jumped the start, pulled it back, and then I let a few people go, and then I went 5-second penalty, whatever. I kind of lost the race, and I finished in 7th, technically 7th, but 8th on the paper. Yeah.
Yeah, on the sheet, Hayden's in front of you, but also he's in front of you
By a second.
And there was a 5-second penalty imposed. So
I had him by 4 points.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
2.5,
I'll be straight with you. I mean, you're to the point now. Are we looking for a 7th or an 8th place?
No.
Are we going to get excited about a 7th or an 8th place?
Gonna be disappointed.
And that's fair, right? You know, when I looked at that race and I saw him, I saw what happened. I was gutted for him. Who wouldn't be? You know, just disappointed. But what I was really proud of you is that you didn't just cash the thing in. You know, you didn't go out and ride like an idiot and send the bike for no reason. Because when you have a 5-second penalty, what is your race?
Nothing. Can't really do anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much over, and especially the way you stopped and then the race started, and you let so many people go because you jumped the start. You're out of it. There is no possibility of getting a podium at that point from the way that all started. What you did learn is maybe next time, and hopefully there is never a next time, if you jump a start, just go.
Yeah,
you know, if they're going to penalize you, they're going to penalize you. Maybe it's 5 seconds. Maybe they stop and go. Yeah, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. Maybe you should have just let the clutch out and went. I don't know the answer to that. It doesn't matter. It's moot at this point. But still, you rode well, you know, and once again, the people that you were battling with, you finished in front of every single one of them.
Yeah.
And I feel that it would have been easy for you to just say, oh, man, that's it. I screwed up. My race is over. Who cares? Send it and crash it again. Or just let some people beat you and just be like, I don't care, you know, whatever. And you didn't do that. You know, you collected yourself. You raced back and forth. I think Hayden passed you one time, and then you passed him back, right? You've been running a little faster than him this year, so you probably should be finishing in front of him at this point, especially the way you qualified. And you did that. You made that happen. So in the end, I was proud of you for the results that you got. I think that's great, and I'll stand firm on what you got to pay your dues too. You know, to just show up and to be so new into all this in terms of racing and to just be getting podiums at a national level, that would almost be unfair. There's a lot of people that you're even finishing in front of that have invested years.
Yeah.
And more race weekends than you could count, right? And they're still working at getting their first podium. So we're going to keep plugging away.
Yeah. And Brainerd, we're leaving for Brainerd tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, we're loading the trailer today. We're a little bit late with this. Most importantly, what are we doing? We're having a lot of fun.
We're going out to have fun, yeah.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of good quality time with the family. I'm going to make sure Caleb puts probably the highlight of the weekend for me was Mom coming out on the grid. We sorted that out.
Yeah.
Mom was able to come
awesome.
out. Yeah.
Got pictures of it too, which is cool.
We did. Thank you, Chris Oliveira, for the kick-ass pictures. You know, I asked Chris, I'm like, hey, man, we're going to get Marsh to come out on the grid, and if you could snap, because he's always out there on the grid getting pictures, doing media stuff. Chris is a great dude. He snapped some pictures that are just actually epic.
They look really good. They look good.
They look great. So we have at home on our wall going up the stairs, we have our big family picture. Actually, there's 2 motorcycles in that picture, which is badass. And then Mars and I have a picture together, and then each of the 3 kids have their own individual shot. Max's is from his first ever barber track weekend on the R3. Remember, in the solid blue hot bodies?
I think it was my second one. But yeah, it was, yeah. It's a good picture, too, for how short I was.
Yeah, for how short you were. we're going to actually take that picture from Chris for Max's there, and we're going to go ahead and substitute the one, because it was me, him, and Mom. You know, and that's pretty bitching to be able to be out there with your son, right, or daughter,
picture,
you know, and getting race ready for a big national event. We got a little TV time out of it too. That was
we did.
That was
We did.
kind of
That was
cool. Yeah, man.
That was cool.
That was kind of cool. All in all, the results are the results. All you can keep doing is working to get where you want to be. I had a lot of fun.
I did too, but I'm gonna have more fun this weekend for sure.
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
But honestly, like, all I'm going to say is at the tracks where the straightaways are bigger for more drafting, it's easier for the people that are slower behind first and second to keep up.
It should be a tighter battle this weekend.
I think hopefully it'll be a tighter battle. Hopefully it'll be first to seventh or first to last. You never know. It could be that big of a battle. I hope that's how it's going to end up.
Yeah, so do I, because Ben and Tyler, you could see the last two tracks were really technical.
Yeah.
And they kind of peeled off, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're two pretty experienced
They're
dudes.
They're the best riders in their
They're
group,
the two.
for sure.
That's fair. I would agree with that 100%. They're the two best riders on the Junior Cup grid right now, and they're just peeling away. So as you go to some of these different tracks, you know, you have different layouts are kind of equalizers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your assessment is right. I think this weekend we're going to see racing that looked more like MotoAmerica, more like probably VIR.
Yeah, I think so too. Because, I mean, technically for the Junior Cup bikes, our straightaway is going to start a few corners before the last, honestly. Because start-finish, for some reason at Brainerd, it's in between, like, entering, or, like, basically entering a fast corner for the Junior Cup bikes. In turn one, I think it was full tuck, 6-gear pinned. So it's just going to be a huge drafting battle, I think.
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it too. And the important part is, well, you always line up to win. You have to make sure that you find ways to enjoy what you're doing, especially what you're able to do right now, because this is just to be able to compete in this and participate in it through the support of all the people that have shopped with SDG over the years. It is unbelievably appreciated. We're enjoying every single minute of it. Would it be kick-ass if the kid puts a trophy to sit on the dashboard for the long drive home? Absolutely. You know, if he doesn't put a trophy on the dashboard, am I going to sleep at night? 100%.